Good Vibes Goddess Tarot. So today I am doing pretty much I did like a short or like a clip, right? Instagram reel. And I'm doing an extended version for YouTube. So I already have like a little paragraph here that pretty much explain everything that is on the table, and I'm gonna add the clip into the video so y'all can see the cards up close. But I'm gonna let Siri read you the little paragraph.
The sun illuminates. It indicates new beginnings, brings healing or the chance to start healing from bad health, draining life forces, things that do not empower you, stopping you from being able to manifest, stopping growth, leaving you unhappy, questioning your strength, and lack of masculine energy. This solar plexus is about power, success, and sunlight. You need your actions and thoughts to be aligned, and your actions to be aligned with your nature, your true self. Everything you have ever wanted is going to be a reality, and that is why this is the best time for you to take charge from the front. Vishnu, the preserver aspect of the Hindu Trinity, balance, rectifying imbalance in your body, mind, and soul reduces suffering and pain. The middle path is the best course of action. Odin, the king of the Norse gods, guidance, seek guidance to solve an issue. Choose carefully whom you take counsel from. Respect experience. It takes time to develop wisdom and knowledge. Be patient. Sinan's Celtic shape-shifting god with stag antlers. Shape-shifting, transition, and change are flowing through you. Relax and know you have the power to be what you want to be.
Okay. So yeah, I pretty much caught up. It's just but on the table here we have the gift, communication, gift, crystals, and we had Venush with balance. We have Odin with guidance. We have cognition, they said it. With shape shifting. And then we have am I communicating my needs? Right? And then on the back it says my needs. Well, your needs matter. What are your hold on. Your needs matter. What are you needing right now that you haven't communicated? What are you afraid of? Is it possible that what you are afraid of is not true? Today's soul action journal these answers. What are my needs? Am I saying no? And then in parentheses, it's saying, and yes, enough based on my desires. Am I telling my full truth? Do I believe that my needs matter and what I share them? And do I share them with others? Do I ask for what I want? When I communicate my needs, what am I resisting and with whom? What do I need in order to feel safe enough to express my needs? And then we have the air element with I embrace the element of air and I'm open to all the knowledge and wisdom. And then we have fire element with I ignite the fire within me to connect that connects me to the divine. And then so far we have 7, which is all about self, the internal, your spirituality, and any struggles that you have internally with yourself. And then we have 18 that reduced to 9, which is about letting go, releasing, reflecting on it. And then we have 14 reduced to 5, and 5 is all about conflicts, change, transitions, but it's very temporary. So if you're going through like a down period right now, it's temporary. Like you might feel like challenged in a way, but that could simply means that it's time to change what's going on around you with the shape shifting. So that oh, okay, this is the best way I can explain it. Like how sometimes there's like a transition period, and then you might be in the transition period, and things might be like very hectic. Like when water is boiling, like it just goes from like doing nothing, 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 and out of nowhere you see like one or two bubbles, right? And then it just like bunch of bubbles out of nowhere. Like, yeah, it might be like right now like one or two bubbles, one or two like problems, and then things start heating up and boiling up into the point where you're balanced, or things are balanced out to like you're now where you need to be, rather than just staying still doing nothing. Like if you make a spaghetti, the water have to boil so the spaghetti can cook, you know. And then you just can't. The water's boiled. You just can't put the spaghetti in and just leave it for like 2 seconds and then come back and things gonna be cooked. Like no, it needs that transition period is important. It cooks it, gets it ready for consumption. So now we'll see what else comes out the rest of the reading. Okay. So we have the tree spirit with strength, growth, and stability. It's a 10 card. And 10s is all about completions. Something ending so something new can begin. And then we have Fane with beginnings. Oh wow. I was just talking about something ending. Beginnings, willingness, and opportunity. And that is 3, which is all about teamwork, collaborating, co-creating, building, working together, communicating. And then we have the Green Man, nature, connection, and source. And then that's 4. And 4 is all about foundations, stability. And if anything's on pause, like I said, those hurdles where things may have look like with the water, when it may like look like it was doing nothing, it was still absorbing the heat, and then you know it just wasn't enough heat for it to start boiling and things to get ready. Start popping off. um, but things might start with this beginning, like it's getting to the point. Water has a boiling point and a freezing point, so it could be getting to the point where things are about to like start boiling, pop off. It took in all the heat and the energy that it needs to now know what it needs, and know that okay, I'm hot and I'm boiling, so let me like jump around to like find a cooler place, and then at some point there's no place for it to jump around because all of it's hot. If that makes sense, like it's like and then you can put in the spaghettis, right? Then you have like that's just like if you make a spaghetti, that's just the first step, trying to get the water to boil, and then you can put in the spaghetti. Then you have to wait again for um, the spaghetti to cook, and then once you do that, you have to pour out the water, and then next steps. Like what Odin says, like you don't just know how to do it right away. You have to there's steps. You have to go one like a step at a time, little by little, until things have like works out. Because if you don't, then things are not in balance. It'd be chaos. You're gonna eat some hard noodles because the water wasn't warm enough, or it's gonna be soggy, or it's just so things have to be balanced out and worked out. You have to communicate your needs and believe in yourself. And if you have like negative thoughts, that's gonna slow down not even your connection to source, but your connection to yourself. You won't believe in yourself and feel like you can do it, and you probably can do it, and you start like questioning like yourself and your confidence and stuff like that. So it's just like take some time out. What if it's not really true? Like you're gonna have some failures. Everyone does. People fail all the time. You just gotta learn from your mistakes and learn from your failures and keep going and keep trying. Now, at some point in time, when it comes way too much, you just gotta realize you gotta stop. This is not for you. Okay? This is not. Certain things are just not. Like if I try to understand it in multiple different ways, and no matter how you try to say it to me, and I don't get it, I don't understand it, it's not meant for me to understand. Like it's just like I'm okay with not understanding it. I'm okay. Maybe it's just no, but it's just certain things that you can do. You're supposed to do. You can't do it with no problem. There's just certain things that you need somebody else to actually like help you with that. So like that, when I don't understand it, I will have to find like a teammate or a partner to help me with that type of whatever he was trying to do. And then we have alchemy, the thing transforming and I don't know. I was about to say like transmitting, but transmitting is like you're transforming the energy. Like the magician, he can. Another meaning for the transition, well, the magician is the like alchemy or the alchemist because he has all the materials on the table that he needs to do the trick and to create whatever he wants to create, to manifest whatever he wants to manifest. So it's just like you have the confidence and the power within yourself to do it. You just might have to take like little baby steps at a time until things start balancing out until you get to the place where you want to get to. All right, but the shape shifting, like things are not just gonna change right away, right in front of your eyes. Like no, it has like even when you're trying to download something, there's a period where it has to download, and then there's a period where you try to download it, and it just like 1, 2, 3, and then you go like walk away for like 2 seconds. You come back. Now it's at like 50. But back in the old days, you used to go back and forth. You never know. Sometimes it be playing. Alchemy, it just, and then it start going back. It is what it is. You have hurdles, ups and downs. It's not just one straight way. There's many ways, and it's wavy, bumpy, reckless. Not reckless, but like hurdles in the ways. And then we have pay attention to the signs. Oh, this is 25, which is another 7. And then we have pay attention to the signs, which is a 10. Oh, the owl, right? It could be spiritual message because we also have a bird here. Odin also used birds, but he used ravens. So we got ravens, owls, and I don't know what bird that is. I'm gonna be honest with you. But then we also have like lizards, iguanas. I'm gonna go with them reptiles. Okay, reptile on here. And then we also have the snakes, which is a form of reptiles. See where I'm going with this? The animals are trying to. Well, with nature, might need to spend some time with some animals. If you have a pet, walk with your pet, chill with your pet. Spend some time with it. And then we have selling out. Oh snap! It has a feather. That explains what I was talking about the birds. See the feather? Zoom in on it. See, I don't think I'm bugging. It's really. But like I said before, you probably actually have the strength and the confidence and the power to do whatever you're doing or to do whatever you think that you want to do. You're selling yourself short, so you're selling yourself out, thinking that you don't have the strength to do it when you actually do. But, because when they're like one door closes, another one open, but you have to allow that door to close so the other door to open. So if you're trying to sit in something and keep selling yourself out and just like suffering in silence, you have to realize the other door is not going to present itself until you get out of whatever you're selling yourself short out of. That has to transform and transition. You have to stop doing that. And then we have patience. Right? Wasn't that one of their quotes? I think it was his quote. Right? Be patient. Things are changing and transforming. Like I said before, it's like a down low period, a transition period. Sometimes, it goes back and forth. So things balanced out and worked out completely. And then we have a hole in the soul. Oh, my bad. Miscalculated where the camera was. Oh, and that was one. And one is beginnings, creations, intentions. We also have beginnings here. And then we had 23, which is 5. I already explained 5s. So you start something, it might be a little bit challenging in the beginning, but that doesn't mean to just give up on it. Okay? Don't just get. Then we have 9. 36, which is 9. Ooh, with Alchemist, I don't know why this popped in my head. Because Full Metal Alchemist, but then that's not. Stay with me, right? They lost their mom, right? And then they try to get the mom back, and then it didn't work out. Okay, and then throughout the whole show, it keeps talking about like equivalence and change, like whatever you're trying to create, you have to give something of like equal value or stuff like that. So as he kind of sort of lost his brother's body. So, but he was able to get the soul, okay? So he put his brother's soul in like this armor. So it's this little kid walking with this little armor. That's his brother, right? And he's patiently working to get his brother his body back. Okay? Like he's not selling himself out, be like, oh, it's just not gonna happen, it's never gonna happen. He's stuck as this armor. No. No, like, all right, I could have bring my mother back, but I'm gonna get your body back. Some way, sham, how? We getting this body back, and you gonna be my brother again. Like, you still my brother, just in this armor, and I'm gonna get you your body back. Like, it's patient. They just building up the strength until they do. And then they have a lot of obstacles, people in their way, trying to do a whole bunch of things, but they're not letting that stop them. They're not selling themselves out. They know that they have the skills and the power to do it. They have the resources to do it. With Source, they have the resources to do it. They have the connections to do it, to get that information to do it. You just gotta be patient. And along the way, they learn new things, meet new people. And it's like slowly become at peace with the situation. Like, maybe he won't get his body back. Maybe he will. Either way, he's still here. They still together. And that's all that matters. And then we have death. Not a literal death, like something changing or transforming. And it's a black card, which is all about like banishing, protection. Right? So stop. Like I said before, you gotta stop selling yourself out and thinking that you're like, even if you lack something, somebody else can't give that to you. You can give that to yourself. For example, sorry if I'm spoiling the show for you, but like, just people try to, not even people, like somebody try to like fill Alphonse's heads with a whole bunch of like ridiculous stuff to like make him second guess himself and question himself. So then as a result, he started questioning what's his brother? Edric or something like that. He started questioning him. And because he was questioning himself and like not sure of his own memories and if he was really a person and then all this other stuff. Like he felt lost. And the only person that was able to really help him and get him to believe who he is was him, like will be himself. For another example, if that doesn't really work, you watch My Hero Academia. Remember Twice, right? He made a whole bunch of copies of himself, and at some point in time, um, they like turned on each other, and they started like, you know, and then they was turning into sand, and then he like snapped a little bit. Um, Remember one of the episodes, he was like, "Oh, that I could have just all these years wasted. I could have just tried like do this one thing to find out if I was really me, and and not a copy of myself." It's like that. The answer is so simple, but you might try and like overthink it, and it's time to stop doing that because you might be missing the solution and sell yourself out on something that's really like self-explanatory. Man was mad excited to feel pain. He was like, "That means I'm the original." Like, yeah. Like, what? He was like, "All these years wasted." Like, it's just stop. If you just like stop selling yourself out, you pick up on a lot of things with guidance. Like, it's not always gonna be easy at first. Sometimes it's gonna be hard in the beginning and then smooth sailing like in the middle or later on. Like with like basketball players and athletes and stuff, they have to train to do certain things. They just wake up. I mean, some of them just have like natural talent, but either way, they still have to start to do more things or to be able to like surpass that and become like the greatest or whatever and stuff like that. They train their natural talent and like try to do new things or incorporate new things and stuff like that, and that pushed them even further. Oh, I don't know why it's starting to be animes, but Kuroko basketball, right? Um, what's there was the five of them, right? And they was all supposed to be the greatest, and they all went to like each separate schools, right? And no one wasn't wanted to listen to Kuroko. Like, hey, we gotta be connected, be a team, work together. This was like push us further, surpass us even more. They was like, what? Psh, no, I'm the greatest. I don't need nobody else. Everybody else carried themselves, right? And he joined a new school, did that with like worked with them, built his like skills and stuff like that. Where before he was just good at passing and stuff like that. No one could really catch his pass because he can't really see it. He joined a new team and they was like, okay, you pretty much are great at passing, but like what else can you do? And then it's just like, what do you mean? Like, there's no one up, like no one in his other team ever like try to help him and bring him up to like speed and stuff like that. Like, everyone has their own skills and their own qualities and their own unique traits. Him was passing, so he has to shoot a different way than when most people will shoot. And once he did that, no one could stop his shot because you can't see his pass. You definitely can't see him shooting. Like, you can't. And then somebody try to stop it. That it's a lot, but it's good. But it's like you have to find what works for you and critique it for you. Just like I said, he can't shoot like a regular person because that's not his specialty. His specialty is shooting. So how he not shooting, passing. So how he holds the ball is different than how somebody else will hold the ball. Like, like in gym, like certain people, how the teachers try to teach you like, oh, put your hand here and you do this, right? And they just assume everybody's like right-handed, right? But if I'm left-handed, it's different than how I have to hold the ball. You have to teach me a different way for me to do it. And if I'm ambidextrous, we gotta do it both ways, okay? I gotta feel which one works for me. Like, and then like go accordingly. My gym teacher had a field day and he was doing what was that? Field hockey? Because depending on which area I was in, I was switching hands. If I was over here and I was coming this way, I could use my right hand, no problem. But if I was going this way, I'm using my left hand. And then he was confused. I'm just like, I have more control using my left going this way, and then I have more control using my right going this way. So it's like, at least I'm self-aware. Okay? like, at least I'm aware, you know. Gotta win by any means necessary. Like, so, yeah. And then, now you're probably thinking, like, wouldn't that be, like, a hard in the middle of the game to just be switching from side to side? Not really. You just push it with your shoulder and then turn it real fast and then, yeah, they don't know what's happening. Woo, good times. And then we have children. Your life purpose involve helping, teaching, and healing children. So probably whatever you're like, if you're like an adult, you have kids. Your kids learn from you and see what you're doing. And you know, try to be like a mini reflection of you or like mirror you in some way, shape, or form. So if you keep selling yourself out and like talking down to yourself, at some point in time, your kid might end up doing the same thing. Or, you know, your kid might try to like help you, motivate you too. Like if you always like bringing up your kid and motivating them and say like, hey, you can do whatever you can want to do. You can do whatever you want to put your mind to. Well, remember Nas? I know I can be what I want to be. You know, if I work hard of it, you know, if you're teaching your kid that, the kid might say that same thing back to you. And that might, you know, with this hole in your soul might touch your heart and you might start wanting to make changes in your life and stuff like that. Now we have a lion. Oh, a lamb. Sorry. That's a lot of animals here. So like I said before, you might want to spend some time in nature or with your animals or your pet. And then we have trust your feelings and your dreams to guide your career path. So it might be hard in the beginning and like easier at the end. And then we have family. Loving your friends and family is central. Well, it's critical to your life purpose. Central to your life purpose. Isn't like the center. There we go. So like I said before, with your children, if you have a kid, yeah, you whatever your kids might be your motivation, your inspiration, the reason why you're doing it. Right? And just remember that. And don't sell yourself out. Like or with the children, be the role model that you wish your child self would have had. That's nice. Next we have Gaia, the frequency of Gaia. Remind us that we are infinitely connected to one another just as we are to the great mother and the universe that birthed us all. And that is 28 and that is 10. Oh, so now we got 3 tens. Look at you. Could be like 3 things coming to completion. Right? Then we had 2 9s. So yeah, you're releasing. So 2 things are being released. And then closing out. And we had 1 1. So something else to begin. So either 3 things need to close out for something to begin. So these opportunities can come to you and stuff like that. So they don't cause any like distractions or instability in it. And then we have throat chakra. The frequency of the throat chakra, the blue flower of life, supports our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance. And that's 5. Oh no, we got 3 5s. See, three things are changing to come to a completion and come to an end so something can begin. it might all need to stem from you communicating your needs. With the throat chakra being here, communicating your needs truthfully and effectively. This was upside down. So we have the sacral chakra. Just the frequency of the sacral chakra, the orange flower of life, supports our ability to flow with our desires and stimulate our creative power to manifest success and abundance in our life. And it was reversed, but no other card was reversed, so it could be saying. And then how I wrote that paragraph was by using runes, but I don't know all the definitions or like the runes off the top of my head. This is why I don't use them. But it was the solar plexus that came out there, and it was slanted, but the sun was also reversed. So, and then this came out reversed. So it's just like you are lacking self confidence, like I said before, and you're selling yourself out. So you might have to communicate your needs to yourself and what you want to do. Probably not to other people. It's probably to you. Like you have to close something out because we have sevens. Like within you, this battle within yourself. Like first you have to make peace with yourself. What are you trying to fight or suppress? Selling yourself short on, selling yourself out on. Not giving yourself credit for. And like start with the patience or try to heal that, make peace with that, and then over time, when you start having trust and you're trusting yourself and your self confidence and your self worth and all that stuff starts to increase. You want people that are around you that motivate you and uplift you, where you can speak your truth and live in your truth. So those people that put you down and make you feel guilty or shameful about anything, or even sell you out as well, try to take your kindness for a weakness, you're releasing them because you no longer connect with them. Right? You start paying attention to those signs and releasing those people so you don't feel lost anymore, feel like you lacking in any way, shape, or form. You stop looking for like love and validation outside of yourself and start looking for it inside of yourself. And then we have realization. But the frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our higher expression in this world. And that is 37. And that's another 10. Isn't that like 4 tens now? Hold on. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 tens. There's no. I was like, there's a lot of tens here. There's not really much tens. Like, if I was doing the tarot, that would be like the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands. You're releasing the burdens. You're putting that to an end. So you can have something stable, right? The 10 of Pentacles, something stable and solid that's just very long-lasting that will make you happy. 10 of Cups. You're putting down the burdens, releasing them, and you're putting that to an end. The 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. You're letting that go. Releasing that and letting that go. So you can have something stable and solid. So if you have like a commitment, or you're in like a commitment or friendships or connections, it's not stable and solid. That's just, not making you happy. It's all fairy tale and stuff like that. You're releasing those and letting that go because those are burdenful. They stab you in your back and stuff like that. You're letting that go. You're putting that to an end. So you can have like actual, true, solid, stable happiness. And then we have healing. The frequency of healing supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses and harmonize everything accordingly. And that is 29, and 29 is 11, and 11 reduced to 2. And 2 is all about duality, balance, choices, partnerships, connections. Um. Oh, but the tens, because that popped back in my head. The 10 in the major arcana, right? When I was just talking about the minor arcanas, in the major arcana, 10 is the wheel of fortune. So, and the wheel of fortune is a wheel. Um, we don't have control over when things are in our favor, when things are not in our favor. But what is in our control is how we get through it, and how we persevere through it, how we respond to it. Um, like sometimes a business have the supply, like if it's a business, like a supply and demand, right? The demand might be very low, but that doesn't mean to just close up shop and just call it quits. It might be in a very low demand right now, but like certain seasons, a certain period of times, you're very high demand. So you have to just find out what works for you, what go with the flow, and trust that what works for you is what's for you, and what isn't for you is just not for you. And what's for you is not going to miss you, it's going to come back around. Um, Pay attention to that. And so you don't miss that opportunity. If it was meant for you, it's going to keep coming back to you, coming back round and round. If it's not meant for you, it's not going to come back. It's not meant for you. Just going to come and go. Um, for example, certain if you have if it's a friend group and stuff like that, and put this hole in your heart, you start feeling more confidence in yourself. You start building the self confidence and respect. Your self worth start growing up. You start trusting yourself. Stop doubting yourself. You release that shame and the guilt. Stop selling yourself short and selling yourself out, and you start building up boundaries. And you change from the person that you once were, having a little low self esteem or lack of a boundary, self worth and stuff like that, low self esteem and all this stuff, and to now that you do, and you're in your boundaries and you feel comfortable in those boundaries, and you're not allowing other people to do certain things like they did in the past. And if they have a problem with it and try to argue with you about it and be like, oh, well, you changed, da 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 da. Yeah, you're supposed to grow and change. Pay attention to those signs. They want you to stay small and low and stuff like that, because they probably are not able to grow or change on the same rate as you, and they want you to be where they are in the same level. And it's just no. Everyone's supposed to grow and change and transform. You're not supposed to stay the same. Mm-mm. Like a caterpillar is not supposed to stay a caterpillar. It's supposed to become a butterfly. That's what you're supposed to do. What it's supposed to do. It's just what it is. A kitty doesn't stay a kitty. It grows into a cat. It's what it does. It's just what it does. A baby don't stay a baby. It grows into a toddler, to a preteen, to a teen, to an adult. Your stages in life, you grow. And even when you're an adult, you still grow and mature and learn, so that you don't do the things that you used to do in your 20s while you're now 30 or 40 years old, because you had enough life experience that's supposed to help you learn and grow to realize that what you was doing in your 20s is not okay. Now, you can't continue living your life that way. I mean, you can. You do you. But all those problems that you had in your 20s, you're going to continue having in your 40s and your 30s. And if you don't change that, you're going to continue having those problems throughout the rest of your life. So it's just, you gotta stop doing that. Let it come to an end. So something else can start. It's like cleaning your house. You don't need certain things in your house you probably don't need anymore, so you start throwing it away, donating it. You have to do that with yourself. Sometimes the way you used to live or used to think is not very beneficial or helpful to you right now in the present, or probably won't be helpful and beneficial to you in the future. So it's just best to let it come to an end and release it right then and there, and start moving and processing and healing what needs to be healed, or what caused you to start doing that in the first place. But if you need a why, it could be because of a child or a family. And if you don't have one yet, it could be like the future, like a future family, like what you want your family, like the qualities that you want your like family to have or to do and stuff like that. And that motivates you to heal and to change. Right? And paying attention to like certain signs and certain things or certain people, like you honestly, like what I'm saying by that, like if you wouldn't want like but paying attention to the sign, if you wouldn't want your kid or your wife or your family or your husband to be around that person, right, really talk to that person, socialize with that person, why is that person in your life? Why are they around you? Why are you around them? Why are you spending time around those people or that person? You gotta realize that. Like that's a good question, isn't it? Like, especially if I want to invite you to my wedding, what you here for? Like, I don't want to celebrate with you. So what are we doing? What are we doing? There's no reason for you to be here. You gotta realize that. There might be some people in your life that just taking up space, and you gotta throw it away, or not throw it away, but like release them, so something else can take up that space. That something more useful could take up the space that was being occupied. But yeah, that's all that I'm seeing for this reading. If you feel like this reading resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Other than that, thank you for watching. Bye.